皆さん、こんにちは。
こんにちは。Greg
遅い。
Taylor です。
遅い、Greg。ね。はい。マーク・マリンです。よろしくお願いします。
よろしくお願いします。
And welcome everyone to Musings from Japan number 52. 52.
52. That's right, number
52.
52. Here we are, Mark. Can
Here
you
we
believe
are.
it? 52nd musings from Japan.
Pretty soon
And
it'll
what
catch pretty soon it'll catch up to our age.
yeah, it's got a while to go, doesn't it, though? Oh, wait. No, it's soon here. It'll be soon
Yeah.
here.
For a while for me. Yeah, yeah. So anyway, so so it's nice to talk to you again, Greg. And hey,
Yeah.
let's get right to the point. How's the weather for you?
Today's weather was, sorry, I got allergies. Today's weather was heavy rain until just a short time ago. Oh, yeah, you're having Dotour. I had that
Yeah.
yesterday.
Mm,
For those of you who don't know what Dotour is, it's a Japanese coffee shop.
yeah. And
It's all
actually the one across the street from our school here it was closed for 2 months because they were
and
complete.
I, we've been there together many, many times.
Yeah, but they closed it for 2 months and they gutted the place and it's brand new. And I walked in today to buy my lunch today, and it's same people working there, Greg.
Oh, like
So
10 years.
yeah, I mean for me it's more like 15, 20, almost 20 years.
Yeah, but
Same
I
people.
mean, that's awesome.
And they look
I'd like to go
so
there and see. You remember
they,
me?
they look the same age. That's scary. Anyway. Anyway, so
Wow, that's
yes.
great.
So for you
So,
the weather is rainy season?
what's that?
For you the weather is rainy season?
Yeah, it's rainy season here
Yeah.
and in Tokyo. So the rainy season started a little late, I think. Yeah.
Hasn't
So,
started
but
for us.
they announced last week that it had started, and so I thought that was interesting. And it started. So we
Yeah.
have it. We've had several big rainstorms since I've. Well, actually, to tell our audience, I'm in Japan right now. Is at my house, and I have laundry behind me. I'm sorry, we're drying the laundry indoors because it was raining all morning.
Right. No choice.
So
But
yeah, it's the rainy season, and
here it's
um,
just hot and muggy.
yeah, and I imagine it's going to get warm this afternoon. But it was really delightfully cool this morning with the rain. Even though it's humid and all. So
Well that's good. But for here it's just been muggy, and it's going to get hotter tomorrow, but tomorrow evening and into Sunday it's going to start to rain here finally, and they're thinking Monday will be the rainy season will start here. So for us
oh
2 weeks late.
yeah.
So
Well,
so
great. It's good to see you, Mark, and it's good to be
yeah.
here. I'm at home. I haven't been home for a while, and well, because
Those of you who watched the last musings, of course, know that. Yeah.
yeah, and you know that I am staying in California. I'm working in California right now,
Hmm.
which is good for my family, and now I'm here home in Aichi Prefecture for the entire summer, really,
Yeah.
or most of it, and so I just counted. I've been here 8 days, 8 nights.
And you
I
look
got
fresh.
well at this time 1 week ago today. I was waiting for my bag, and it was
That's
coming
right.
in. It was coming in 3 minutes, and by 2:15 or so, or 2:20 at the most, I was out of immigration and customs, and
Perfect.
I was going to Black Cat Delivery Service to
Good on
ship,
Neko.
yeah, Kuroneko, to ship my bag here to
Mm,
Okazaki, and it was $13 to do so. So I did it, and I got it the next
perfect.
morning.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So so let me update you then a couple things that maybe that you might be aware of. So in Japan, we have two major things going on. Number one, the big problem here is over tourism.
Yep, I saw that discussed today on the internet.
Right? Yeah, and on the news every day for the last month or so, they've been discussing different things that they want to do to reduce the over tourism in Japan. And part of that is also raising the prices on foreigners who are visiting Japan. So like hotel costs, transportation costs, they've eliminated the JR pass, the rail pass, around Japan. You used to be able to buy a JR pass and be one price. You could take all the trains that you wanted that are JR. They're eliminating that. They want you to pay the regular fees.
So did they completely eliminate it now? Because I know that recently they changed it to where they basically made it worthless to buy because it would be so expensive, and they like raised the price almost 160 or 170%.
That's how they eliminate things here. They don't just say they cut it. They just say they raise it and make it so, like you said, so expensive or so inefficient that I won't buy it, and they'll just phase it out. They don't. There's nothing direct. So, but the other thing is that, and this is done primarily because of the weak yen, which is issue number 2. That's been really, and from the last time we talked, and for the last year or so, the Japanese yen has been very weak, and so now what they're trying to do, the Japanese government is trying to take advantage of that. So a lot of export companies or companies who are working overseas, they're getting a lot of tax breaks to support their supply lines from overseas. So these companies will get better benefits, and by having materials, the things are bought and paid for and built in dollars, and then bring them to Japan, and they will get a tax break on the exchange difference. And so a lot of those companies are now passing that savings down to the employees. So a lot of these big companies are getting their first big pay raises in like 10, 15 years. They're getting like 10, 12%.
News.
Yeah, unlike the United States, where if a big company gets a big surplus like this, they don't pass it down to the employees very often. I'm not going to say they never, but I'm going to say this.
Right.
But here, it's across the board. We're talking beer companies, car companies, chip makers, IT, all sectors of Japanese companies that work around the world are taking advantage of this exchange rate to help benefit their employees and on the home front. So Japan, even though the economy is I'm not going to say weak. I think this is a misnomer. The Japanese economy is not weak. It's right. Slow. It's slow. Like, for example, my company and the schools that I work for, the company that supports all the colleges and the departments that I work for, has had a windfall the last 3 years since the pandemic has wound down and is now over. We're getting a windfall. Greg, my department that I work in here, the International Affairs Department, we just started this department a year and a half ago, and now this department is the number one one of the number one entities of NSG, of our corporation. We have 187% success rate. 187%. We're getting twice as much because all the students that we recruit from overseas and all the monies that we gather, we're running a surplus here.
That's fantastic.
And there's only, let me count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's only 6 of us. And we're producing tens of millions of yen in business for the schools and the company. And we got nominated as one of the top NSG corporations this year. And we've only been Yeah, but it's kind of funny. We got nominated, but the Bucho, the managing director, the other day he was just asking, "Oh, Mark, do you have a picture?" "Yeah, what kind of picture you want?" He goes, "It doesn't matter. What do you got?" And he said, "Well, like casual pictures. I got, a trombone." He said, something for school or something." He said, and I have one of my old pictures from upstairs with, with the American flag and Hawaiian flag and me doing mahalo, in aloha shirts, He said, "Oh, that's good, that's good." So I gave it to him, but I didn't know what he was doing. He was making a uh, uh, kind of like a poster to post, and that's the official picture for the company when we got nominated for this award. And it's got me. The biggest picture is me going, "Hey."
Oh, that's fantastic. That's great.
Yeah, but I feel stupid because everyone else is like suit, tie, combed hair, and you got me sitting and go, "Hey, mahalo."
Well, it's good you guys are doing so well.
Yeah, and
Which I agree with you though about Japan. I think that it's a misnomer that Japan is a weak economy because it's not. It's just been slow for decades, and
yeah,
it's
it
it's
just yeah,
by other people's standards, but it's weak to them or weak to the West means basically growth
right,
or lack thereof.
right.
And that's true that Japan hasn't had that much growth, but it's been stable and it's been stable for decades.
And comparing it to China or Vietnam or Indonesia or some of the other countries in Asia, we're the most stable, still the most stable economy. Even though China's, how would you say, volume is greater than Japan because China's a huge country. But if you look at just the GDP percentages, Japan has just maintained kind of this level the whole time. China's like up and down like this, you know.
Yes,
Yeah.
and
So
China overspent, and then the companies like one of their major builders is bankrupt, so
right.
it's weighing down their economy. But you're right.
Yeah, so that's kind of funky. But let's see. One more thing I want to share with you is the Tokyo governor's race.
Oh, yes.
Okay, now the Tokyo, as you know, is one of the largest cities in the world. And did you know that Tokyo actually has the value of 20% of Japan's total budget, the whole country? 20%
I,
of the
but that's a remarkable amount.
so the currently the mayor of Tokyo, or governor, I don't know what I don't know what is it governor? I think it's governor because
I
Tokyo is
think it's, yeah,
because
because
it's
Tokyo has the all the words that it has and the sections of
right.
Tokyo. And
It's a
here's another thing: is people don't understand that Tokyo includes part of the mountains,
right. Yeah, Hachioji and up
like
in there.
rural mountainous areas. So
Yeah,
it's that part of Tokyo to the west.
there are monkeys in
Yeah,
Tokyo.
I believe it's the governor. And currently, gosh, what's her name? Is it a lady?
Yeah, her name is Yuriko Koike,
That's right. I remember
and
that. But
and she's
and
the and
the
she's the
governor.
govern she's the governor of the largest metropolitan city area in the world. And she's been doing this since 2016, I think, about.
That's
Anyway,
right.
but she's up for re-election again this year. Um,
And so
and
what's going on?
but there are 56 people running for this position. 56.
Ooh.
It's amazing. But the person who is the strongest challenger, and I don't know if you know this person, her name is Ren Ho.
No.
Okay, she goes by her first name, which is Ren Ho, but her name is Ren Ho Saito. She, her, I believe, her father is Taiwanese, but her mother's Japanese. Anyway,
Oh,
but she was originally a TV announcer, a swimsuit model in Japan a long time ago, and then about 10 years ago, she became what was the party? Like the Socialist Party, or what they call in Japan is so the SDP at the time. They're no longer they broke up, but at the time it's the Social Democratic Party, and she ran for the government, and she was in the government, and she was in the Diet, and her name is Ren Ho, and she decided that now she's going to run for the governor's race of Tokyo, and she is number two, so it's between Koike and Ren Ho. It's like imagine anywhere in the United States where you have two women combating for a position that controls 20% of the national budget.
yeah, that's pretty amazing.
Isn't it
And
amazing? I mean,
so, uh, also to think of it that they're among 50 some challengers.
Yeah, and among 56 challengers, then those two are the top. So it's been a big. I've been following it because I like Koike because Koike went to university in Egypt. Her father was a minister, ambassador to Egypt. So she grew up and so she speaks, I think, Farsi, and she speaks English, of course, and Japanese, and she's multilingual. She's educated overseas, and so she doesn't have a Japanese degree. She has a foreign degree. Ren Ho's father is Taiwanese, so you have this kind of a mixed national, Japanese and international flavor of running for Tokyo. It's kind of
The
nice.
Japanese that we know from 40, 50, 60 years ago and earlier is not the same Japan that there
Eh,
is today.
yeah, they really represent what Japan has become. And and
That's right.
and actually, you know what the pandemic did, Greg? The pandemic flushed out a lot of that old thinking of Japan. It really cleaned out that stuff. And now there's a lot of new thinking. And I mean, even in the office that I'm working here, we're working with so many countries now, and everyone around here is into China, India, Nepal, Sri Lanka, Africa, America, Europe. We've got it all covered, and it's so nice. Japan has grown up in the 33 years that I've been here. Japan has really become a world player at the grassroots level, not just at the top, but down here.
Oh, and look at for those of you in our audience who don't know this, Mark and I, as college students, came here 40, 42 years ago, 41 years ago.
41 years ago.
Yeah, for a
Wow.
few, and Japan was way different then. Even though obviously there's similarities that I can remember very clearly, but it's different as well, and it's much more open to foreigners, I think.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
it
then
is.
even you say that when you came here, 33 years ago, same thing. Yeah, and even I can tell you that even in the 11 years that it's been since I first moved here to Japan to live, um, which I thought was going to be permanent and still will be permanent down the
Mhm.
road. Um, it was different then at that time too. And America has changed dramatically in the time that from when I moved here till now.
Well, I can tell you one thing because I have a student who went from my past student about 6 years ago, graduated from Air upstairs, who's trying to live in America. Is working there and got married to an American man, and she's trying to get her green card. And she's been in the process for 4 years trying to get a green card, and she's in not next to Utah, and and I don't understand why it's taking so long. And every time I watch the news, I mean, they're talking the process of immigrants trying to get the green cards in, or jobs or get residency, established. The process is so convoluted now in America, and I don't understand. And when I came here, that process in Japan was convoluted. But and it took me quite a while before I got my permanent residence. It took me 8 years, and at the time I was married. I had this job. I was a principal of a high school in Japan, and it took time for me to get my permanent residency. But now the system in Japan has streamlined. Like you told me what they told you about your process. If you maintain your marriage status and
Well, yeah. So what's interesting is, and I also read that too, or something
yeah,
in an official fashion. So I lived here 2 days short of 8 years. I think it was,
right.
or maybe 2 days. I don't know. It
It
was
was it
around,
was close.
let's
It
say
was
eight
close.
years.
Hmm.
So the last time I renewed my spousal visa, and I that was the fourth time I got a new alien residence card, I believe, fourth or
Hmm.
fifth time since I first moved to Japan in 2013. And the first two or three times were because I was working for companies and they sponsored me. Well, then I got married, and then I had 2 or 3 spousal visas, and they said the next time most likely you don't need to apply for this, you just apply for permanent residency. And I thought that was great, but then I decided to go take the position I took in America, and finish my career in teaching,
Right.
and so in America, and then come back to Japan. But then I recently learned, not too long ago, that because of my status that I've been married so long, it's been, many years now, and the fact that I had a history in Japan before, I would have to live here just 1 year with a spousal visa, and then I could apply for permanent residency and have permanent residency.
Yeah, what you would do is when you come back, let's say you come back forever, and you get the spousal visa apply, but at the same time you apply for the permanent residency, and then within 1 year, though, you have a spousal visa, but within the 1 year of review, when it's time to renew the spousal visa, they'll give you the permanent residency instead. And I know that's a fact because I have students who are in the Japanese language program. Uh, Wife is Japanese. The guy is from Switzerland, and he's has a kid and stuff. And same thing, he kept his status up to date, like you have. He has, this. He comes and visits. They have a record of him coming to Japan and coming back and forth. They maintain contact. So it's not like you abandon anybody. And they told him the exact same thing they told you, Greg. So I'm going, yeah. And I've looked at the law, and that's what it is now. And so they've made it easier. So I mean,
Finally.
it's like America was like easy, Japan was difficult, and now it's gone like this.
Yeah, it's unfortunate in America. I mean, you can have an, I don't mean to yeah, I mean, you can have people that are not necessarily legal in the country, and their spouses are legal, and it's easy for them to get married, or it's easy for them to get the residency,
Right.
but it's not easy for people who go by totally legal routes
Yeah. So
in both
anyway,
ways.
but
So
but
yes,
but I'm
that's the way it goes. But I'm
but
just
you
happy to know with my
yeah,
own self that just a year after I return to Japan, I'll have permanent residency, and that's good. I also know that I'm owed a very small Japanese pension, but I will get it, and if I wait till 65, I'll get a little bit more.
yeah,
So
yeah.
that's years down the road, and all I need to do, I could even get it, I believe, outside of the country. And then I know that if I passed away, my wife would get my pension, which is
And that's
great.
which is
My
great.
job.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Right.
it's really good to know. But it's
So
good.
our life here in Japan is pretty stable, which is great. And I love it. I love it. So let's talk. Let's get something more fun. What are you doing for fun, Greg? Now, right now.
Don't tell my wife this, but I'm relaxing.
Stop that. Stop that.
I'm relaxing. I'm I'm we're going out and eating at some places because of the incredible weakness in the Japanese yen.
Hmm.
Everything's on sale for me if I use American debit cards or American money, and then if you follow what I'm saying, if I use a credit card and then it converts to Japanese yen, um, which converts to American dollars, it's very cheap.
Right.
So,
Right now, what is the rate?
well, let me ask my watch. Hey Siri,
Hello,
what is
watch.
Japanese yen?
159 Japanese yen.
Amazing. It weakened by a yen. So in the past week or so, I mean, it's been stable at 150, 158, 157, 156, whatever.
Yeah,
It's been very,
156.
it's a huge, huge bargain for anybody coming from America. It's
Yeah.
incredible. And I heard somewhere today that 5 years ago the yen was 110 to the dollar, and now it's almost 160 to the dollar.
Yeah.
So for me, taking care of my family here, it's really helping us out a lot because it makes, like, say, going to the grocery store a lot cheaper than it would be for a Japanese person going to the grocery store,
Yeah. Well,
which is
I
good.
mean,
But
that's good. So
Yeah,
you're having fun with that. What
I'm
else?
having fun. I'm relaxing. I am getting out for a walk after our meeting here today. I'm going to go out
Hmm.
and walk and enjoy the cool air because the sun's starting to come out a little bit, but it's not too bad. It's still pretty cloudy.
Hmm.
And so it's great to be in Japan because Japan is for me very relaxing.
Yeah,
And
that's good.
going out to dinner tonight with my wife and her relatives, and that's going to be fun. Get to see them. I get to use a little bit of Japanese, and I've always been in my own way for a long time, and you know me, how frustrated I was in learning Japanese. Language learning is just about um, having fun with it, really, and relaxing, and not being too hard on yourself to learn the language. Because if you're too hard on yourself to learn the language, you're not going to learn it.
Right. Yeah.
So, yeah. But I'm eating good here. I'm eating well. We're eating fish most nights, and I've had some of my favorite foods. And we had sushi the other day at our favorite fast sushi place. And let's see. My wife just sent me a message, and
Ooh.
repeat it to our public. She said she knows I'm home. So yeah.
She says, stop hanging out with Mark and
No,
go do.
yeah.
Hey,
She said, "Okiniru."
ah,
So if you translate to our audience, what is that?
oh, Okiniru, wake up.
Okiniru.
Hi, you're in the house. Are you at home?
Okiniru.
I'm at home.
Yeah.
She's
so
on the way home.
No, she's me. I was at home. So
Yeah, well, you're at home, but is she on the way home?
she's going to be working till 5. Actually, she's going to work till 6 because she has to get her teeth cleaned. And so she gets that done, and then she comes home, and then we go out to dinner. So
Perfect.
nice. Yeah. How about you? I mean, have you been keeping yourself busy?
Yeah, because I'm on this retirement track, as we learned the last time. I'm doing this retirement kind of thing. So I'm working in this international affairs office, and I do that. And then my time is not, I'm not that busy. So what I'm doing this time now, I'm gone back to my roots of Japanese education. I'm teaching kindergarten. I'm teaching little children 0 to 3 years old.
That's pretty amazing, aren't they wonderful?
Well, I don't have any grandkids, so this is the best way for me to practice
That's the
when my
closest
sons.
you can get to grandkids right there.
Yeah, I think when my sons, when they get married eventually, and when they have kids, I'll be ready because I'll be in good shape. So right now I've lost 3.5 kilos, which would be about 7 pounds, 8 pounds.
Yeah,
You know,
2 kilograms or 1 pound is no 1 kilogram is 2.2 pounds.
yeah. So 6 to 7 pounds I've lost just in the last month and a half. So I'm slowly losing weight, and I have to get off I have to sit on the floor and play with the kids. So I'm getting in shape, and my knees before were really bad, but they're still bad, but it's going well now. So, but anyway, outside of that, I'm playing music, and it's been great.
Well, I wanted to show you something, by the way. This is a little bit of Japan. I don't know if you recall or not, but there's this type of drink, and it's sweet. And I would get it at the vending machines anywhere that they had it. And they had one when I lived in Shibata, sorry, I was going to say Aichi Prefecture, in Niigata Prefecture. I lived, if you recall, we lived in Shibata. Near the train station, Shibata Station, there was a vending machine that always had my drink. Do you remember what my drink was?
I don't remember. It wasn't Calpis, was it?
No, and yeah, no, it wasn't. But I like that, and I got some mixed in the refrigerator right now.
Oh, okay.
No, but it was very sweet, and it was like a fruit. Do you remember what it was?
No, I don't.
Pink, or
Pink?
the can was pink. Do Well, so I'll just give you a hint. Look,
Oh, okay. Yeah, the peach, the
you
Momo.
remember this? How I like this
Yeah.
drink?
Yeah.
Well, we were in the grocery store, whatever. My wife saw this and she bought it for me because she knew I'd love it. And it's nectar. It's this uh it's a peach flavored. Oh, it's
Right.
so good. And it's been around 60 years, but it's like it's
But
peach flavored candy. And I love this drink because it was like drinking peach juice.
yeah,
And
but that's only 30% peach. So
yeah, in the candy. So, but it's still there. It's delicious. So I just opened it up right before. I had a few bites before, but this is like this is what it looked like here. Little
yeah,
morsel.
nice,
And
cute.
yeah, it's great. And it's the little cubes and they're soft and gelatin or whatever.
Hmm.
And so, but
Gumi
it just tastes like my drink. And I don't see it too much in vending machines. You know, what people don't know also, if you're in America, is you can find a vending machine with soft drinks or tea or coffee. You can find it even in neighborhoods.
Now you can get ramen in a vending machine.
Yeah. And in fact, you can get like a almost a full dinner. You
Mhm.
know, it's what you can find in some vending machines in the larger metropolitan areas is astounding. It's
Yeah,
amazing.
it's
I,
amazing.
I have a vending machine that's just about a 3-minute walk from where I'm at. I also have a drugstore that's about a 5-minute walk, and so it doesn't matter. I can go to the drugstore and get whatever
Right.
I needed, but I can go to the vending machine, and yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah. Anyway, I think we should wrap this up because I know people always complain about us taking too long in our
Yeah,
conversations.
don't worry about those people. But yeah, so
Well,
um,
well,
good to see
well,
you. It's good to see everybody, and thanks for watching us on
and
Musings. Yeah,
number 52. So
number
we'll be,
52.
and our goal is to try to get to 55 before you leave the country. Okay.
That'd be great. So,
All right. We're gonna do this. So we'll be back, ladies and gentlemen. Or I shouldn't say that. We'll be back, everyone. Is that better, Greg?
yeah, that's great. Thank you for
Okay.
watching.
All right. Cheers, everybody. Okay.
Sayonara.
Sayonara.